What's going on, boys? It's Daddy Big here, and today I kind of just wanted to talk about something I think is really important that all of us should try to do a little better. And that's just being patient with yourself. Here's the thing, right? As a person, doing a lot of different creative things, I have a lot of goals. I set a lot of goals for myself. I want to get things done in a certain time, all this, whatever, yada yada. And often there are other things that get in the way of that, going to do different important things in life. And that can be frustrating because, I want to spend time doing these things I really aspire to do, but obviously I have to do other things as well. And it can get to the point where, I'll just, to make a clear example, I wanted to film this YouTube video, right? And I've been wanting to make more YouTube videos recently. So today, I got up this morning, made a video, then had a bunch of other stuff to do for several hours, and then finally I got home this evening after like hours being out doing stuff, and I wanted to film another video because I wanted to get two done today. But I had all my equipment set up. I sat down, everything was ready. I was just like, you know what, man, I don't want to do this right now. I really just don't feel. I was just exhausted after the whole day, and that can be frustrating. It can be You can feel like you're letting yourself down by not doing that thing you wanted to do at that time. But those are the moments when, for me at least, I have to slow down and just remind myself that it's okay. That, you can do this thing later, and in fact, it'll turn out better if you aren't tired or exhausted when you have to be charismatic in front of a camera for 2 hours. So that's just it's just something I feel like is important. I've always been, when I was a lot younger, I would have this same kind of problem often, and it got to the point where I was just getting really down on myself because there were certain things I wanted to do, and I wasn't, for some reason or another, wasn't able to do them, and it made me feel like a failure. It made me feel awful at the end of the day, feeling like I never got anything done. And at some point I had to just realize that I'm able to do certain things better at certain times, and sometimes, I set out to do something, it doesn't work, and I end up doing something else. And for me, ultimately, throughout the day, I feel like things happen as they should, Even if that thing that happens is me taking some time to relax and chill for the evening, that is something I needed, Or if, I went to go sit down and write music, and I wasn't creative, but I went to sit down and film a video and it went great, then, that was what I was meant to do at that time. So I guess my whole point is that, as people, we set these goals for ourselves. We set these things that we want to do. And the fact of the matter is, sometimes you're just not able to meet those goals. Sometimes you're not able to do the things you set out to do. I mean, I guess another example, I've been working out a lot more lately. And, one of my favorite things to do is go for runs. And obviously, the whole big thing you want to do is run a little farther every day, or at least maintain the distance you're going. But there have been times when I went out to run and something started hurting a little bit, or I was sore and I just couldn't make it as far. I had to stop. And that can also be frustrating. It can be frustrating when you went twice as far the day before, but now your shin's hurting and you got to take a break, or you weren't hydrated enough and you're having core pain, So all of these things can happen that can really get you down. And I guess in a way it's just having some stoicism in the way you deal with things, Things happen, things will get in the way, and you just have to figure out how to move on and make the best of it, And I guess to that same end, if you're having core pain while you're running because you were dehydrated, you should probably stop running and just walk home, There's no point in pushing yourself to the brink if you don't have to do things that you want that you shouldn't really need to do, It's the same thing with YouTube. I could hustle out hard and upload way more or get more done in a day, but ultimately it wouldn't be what's good for me. It's about finding things that are sustainable in life, and finding that rhythm that's sustainable requires you to be patient with yourself. So as now that summer's hit and I've had a lot more time to just do what I want, not a lot well, obviously I go to work and whatever, but more time than normal to, budget out my own time during the day. There are going to be lots of times where I have to be patient with myself and realize that, if it's after a long day of socializing or going to work or whatever it could be, I don't feel like writing music or doing YouTube or any of the other things I want to do, in my own time, then that's okay. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to not want to do something. And it's okay to, you know, do something later when you're more ready for it. And I guess it all just comes down to being honest with yourself too. And the other half of things is I can't neglect this, is that sometimes no matter how bad you don't want to do something, you just got to do it. Whether it's Thanksgiving with the in-laws or going to work for for the fifth day in a row or whatever it could be. In all seriousness though, sometimes you do just have to do things. Sometimes things are obligatory and you can't get around it. And that's where that's where I feel like stress can build up. Stress can build up, and you need to take time to relax after those things go on, because it's okay that you're stressed, I guess is what I'm saying. It's okay that, after a day of work you want to relax. It's okay, all of these things, because again, it's about, being honest with yourself and having that patience. And for me, I just have found that when I'm honest with myself about how I'm feeling, when I take that time to take care of myself, I end up getting a lot more work done in the end. You know what I mean? But as I was saying, to finish my point, obviously there are things that you're going to have to do stuff that you don't want to do, and that's its own skill, And having that work ethic to not only get things done, but to get things done when you, would rather be doing something else, that is, where hard work really happens, I think. That it's an entirely different feeling than getting hard work done just because you want to, It's entirely different feelings, requires different mentalities, I think. But it all boils down to the same thing of, doing these things will put some stress on you. And at some point it's going to hit you, and when that stress hits you, whether you're doing things that you had to do or you wanted to do or whatever it could be, when that stress hits you, that's when you have to take a step back and think about what is really going to be best for you at that time. Be patient with yourself. And, tonight, I did not film that YouTube video I wanted to do. I did not film that zombies video. But, I ended up doing some editing for another long-term project I've been doing. I did some journaling, and I recorded this video. So in the end, it all works out. And tomorrow morning, when I have that morning energy, I'll record that video. I'll record 2 videos if I want. So, long story short, I know I've talked about this idea before, but I think it's important for all of us to be able to take that step back. It's just as important as being able to get the work done, as being able to know when to take a break from the work, So, that's my soapbox for the day. But in any case, let me know down below if you guys have had any similar experiences with, realizing that you need to be patient with yourself. And in the meantime, see you in the next one. Take it easy.